What do you get when you combine a savvy businessman and a local kind community member? You get Mike Munro, one of the owners of Green St Grille, who continues to contribute right here in Bensenville with his multiple business ventures. Let's listen in from Mike directly to hear exactly where he came from to how he got right here in Bensenville to help create Green St Grille.
Michael Munro, I'm the majority owner of Green St Grille in beautiful downtown Bensenville. Well, I'll give you the semi-long story. My mother used to work here. She was a postal clerk for the Bensenville Post Office. So she worked here for probably about 10 years, and then the post office moved down the street, down Green Street, and then she was working there, and then soon after it became a restaurant. It became the old post office, and it operated as the old post house. It was the old post house restaurant for probably 6-8 years, and then it was a couple other restaurants, and then it was vacant for about 5 years. I used to own a golf dome called the White Pines Golf Dome. I sold that, and I was kind of looking for something to do, and I brought up the fact that this restaurant had been vacant for about 5 years, and I brought up to a person, Jim McWethy, who ran and owned a couple of golf courses and ran some restaurants, and he said, let's think about putting up a restaurant there. We spoke to the town. The town was enthusiastic about trying to revive downtown, and next thing you know, we put up Green St Grille. Yeah, I moved here when I was about 5 years old, right on Mason Street, right by St. Alexis. So been going to St. Alexis for a long time. Yeah, I went to St. Alexis School. I went to Fenton High School, College of DuPage, and then went to Illinois State University, and used to work at the Federal Reserve Bank of downtown, and then opened up the Golf Dome after I left there. Ran the White Pines Golf Dome, owned it for about 24 years, and then next thing you know, it was time to open up this restaurant, and I did it with another guy too. His name's Eric Fox, and Eric's an intriguing guy. He used to come to the Dome, and he was 50% owner of Goose Island Brewery. So when I mentioned something to him about opening up a restaurant in downtown Bensenville with 12 draft beers and craft beers and IPAs, he said, let's do it. So I got his support and Jim McWethy's support and a friend of mine, Kevin Kurz, and the four of us opened this up. It was a big change. We brought in a guy, Ralph Fazio, who a longtime restaurant person. He actually started up Flamingo Surprise, where you put flamingos all over the yard. A great marketing guy. So I brought him in as one of the managers, and then we have Red Danda, who used to work at White Pines. She's our other manager. So we got a really good team to run the place. I just kind of provide moral support, and I eat a lot, so I get to test out the food, which is really good, so I've enjoyed that. We're coming up on our 5th year here, which is a big milestone. You know, the first 2-3 years are the hardest, and then obviously with COVID, it's been a rough go, but hopefully COVID is near its end, and we're looking forward to life without COVID. I think at the beginning there was a fair amount of turnover. And we had some concerns about what to put on the menu and what not to put on the menu. It evolves, right? What does Bensenville want to support? What does the neighboring towns want to support? And what does it not want to support? So we've gone through a cycle of, for a while there was a lot of steaks, and then all of a sudden it became mostly a cheeseburger place, and now it's kind of something in between where you got burgers and fish and steaks and great salads, some good desserts. So we've evolved into something that we think fits the neighborhood and fits the town. But yeah, I think anytime you open up a new business, there's challenges that go with it. We had a few issues with cooking equipment and things like that. But now I think we've kind of worked things out. We've got a great team here. We've got a very stable group of people. Red has been here since the very get-go, and some of our serving staff and cooking staff, most of our cooking staff have been here since day one. So it's stable. We're providing good food, and we're continually trying to improve the product. Honestly, for me personally, I think the thing I'm most proud of is during difficult times, we've been able to keep the majority of our people on staff. And as you know, I mean, if you're a father or a mother and you've got kids, you're really trying to make sure you take good care of them. And I think we went out of our way to make sure that all of our staff stayed on board and didn't leave us, and make sure that their families was able to they were able to meet their rental payments and mortgage payments and pay for their food. I think you always go back to your family. I mean, my mom growing up was incredible. She was always incredibly supportive. When I tried to open up the dome, she was there, and even helped with shoveling snow when she was in her 70s, right? When you're young, you really don't know what you want to do, right? I work with a lot of young kids in the city, and these kids really are pretty clueless in terms of where life leads. So for me personally, I just tried to get as good an education as I could get and try to do something that I wanted to do, and I always enjoyed banking, so working for the Federal Reserve was great. But after 10 years, I think a lot of people are anxious to do something different. A good friend of mine said, hey, do something for 10 years and then try to do something completely different. And I took his advice on it, and somebody told me about golf domes when it was like brand new. There was like 2 or 3 of them in the entire country, and it turned out to be a lot of fun and pretty successful, and obviously a big change from what I was doing in banking. I think if there's any advice is follow your heart, do something that you want to do, work hard at it. I mean, when I owned the dome, I put in so many hours and so much time. I mean, to the point where it's kind of crazy. I mean, we're getting there at 7 in the morning and working till 12 midnight, 6 or 7 days a week, to the point where you could barely stay awake. But sometimes that's what you need to do to get where you want to get. And fortunately, I mean, lots of good breaks, a lot of things went my way. And I feel very fortunate to have had that happen. Yeah, it's been fun, Chris, right? I mean, I think when you look back at your life, you want to do, you want to make a difference, right? You want to do things that positively affect people around them. And for me, bringing people to downtown Bensenville was a big positive. And we have 22 people that work here at Green St Grille, to hire them and help them financially. It's something I'm proud of, and to create an environment in downtown Bensenville, which I think is positive, is something that I think all of the investors and the team here are proud of. Town wanted us, and I think you go where you feel wanted, and for whatever reason, when we were looking to do this, if we hadn't felt wanted by the town, I mean, we wouldn't have done this. And with the relationship with the golf dome, it just seemed like a logical fit. And it's nice to be close to the train station, and have commuters getting off and coming over and having dinner. I think there are just a lot of positive things with being in the downtown location, which is kind of nice. It attracts maybe a little more family environment, more neighborhood type of environment, rather than being on a major highway where you're just getting people that come by chance. I mean, here we're getting people that like to come because they like the comfort level of being at a homely downtown environment. Yeah, well, I think if you haven't been here, you come on by Green St Grille, right across from this train station in downtown Bensenville. We've got 12 draft beers. We've got a brand new menu that's coming out. We've got an incredible staff of cooks, very experienced. We provide very, very good food quality. We go at a better quality. I think if you were to talk to people that come here and eat here on a regular basis, they would attest to the quality of our food. And we got lots of good things going on. So hopefully you'll come on out and try it. Well, one of the things we're doing, Chris, is we've focused a little bit more on catering. So we're getting a fair amount of businesses in the neighborhood, families in the neighborhood, asking about, how can you bring some food out? So we're doing some catering. We're also doing a fair amount of private parties. Our restaurant seats 200 people. It's a big restaurant, but we can divide it into 2 or 3 sections. So if you want to have a small little family party, we can do that. If you want a bigger party of 100 people, we can separate it so that you get a large private party in here. The other thing that's been kind of exciting is we started a happy hour Monday through Friday between 3 and 6 at the bar, and we have some nice prices on draft beers and a smaller portion hors d'oeuvre items.
Okay.
So, but yeah, thanks for asking.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's especially after a long day of work, it's probably nice to just come and try to take some time off and enjoy some beer and some appetizers.
No doubt. Come on by. It's it's a nice little bar where it seats about 20 people, and it's a good place to come in, have a gin and tonic or a cold beer or a glass of wine and a small appetizer.